Hello. Today I'm going to bring you one of the strongest tips that I have brought so far, and that is exerting through social pressure. So you've probably heard before, the loudest person in a restaurant or in any kind of interaction is typically the most confident. It shows that they're not stifled or impeded by people looking at them or people's attention being drawn to them. Well, most people just want the opposite. They get very uncomfortable and stifled, and their tone of voice and body language changes when people start to look at them, and they kind of crinkle away and wish they could just hide in a cave. Anyway, what you want to do to use this to your favor is practice being comfortable with people watching you. So for instance, say you're in line at Starbucks and a lady asks you a question. You know there's 10 people around you that are hearing everything you're saying to her. Well, when you're just interacting normally, see how that feels. You'll probably feel the pressure. It actually feels like you're in a pressure cooker. But what you can do to use this to your advantage is if you can keep your communication, your tonality, your body language in line with the way you would communicate with people out there, it gives you such instant social credibility. It shows such confidence. I don't really know if there's anything else that you can jump from 0 to 100 with the way people perceive you as doing this. So, for instance, you always get in situations every so often that you just come into an interaction unexpectedly and there's other people that are involved. For instance, in my apartment, I was going down to get a package and it was late and I was coming home from the office and it was like 10:30 at night and I kind of bulldozed through the door and around in the corner, and before I could even see, I was like, hey, I was talking about my package, asking for it, and I come around and there's like 10 people there all talking. Now, because I was so loud and boisterous and didn't know anyone was there, they all stopped talking and turned to me and looked at me. Now, what would most people do? Oh, sorry, so sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, what were you saying? And then maybe wait 5 minutes for the guy and be like, hey, can I get my package? Well, they already stopped talking. Maybe that was a little bit rude, but you weren't trying to do it, so don't worry about it. So when you see everyone stop talking and everyone orient and you feel that social pressure, if you can communicate, say, oh yeah, hey, I just came down to get this package, room 755. And everyone sees you're not stifled at all with that social pressure, wow, does that amp up the social status in that situation. I mean, people literally, it's almost like, and this may sound strange to you if you've never experienced something like this, but it's almost like you just gave some keynote speech. Like people are trying to make small talk while I was waiting for my package, like I'm some big dog or some highfalutin whatever. So obviously it's very, very impacting. Now, another example of this is, say you're in a restaurant, okay? So I actually used this not too long ago. So you're in a restaurant where it's somewhat quiet, a somewhat sophisticated feel, and you're meeting someone for the first time that it's important for them to think highly of you, right? Especially if you know they're of high status themselves. So one thing you can do is when you see them coming to the table, say you're seated, just speak a little bit more loudly than what is comfortable in the environment, and then everyone will be looking at you, and it shows that you're not scared to have that social pressure. So the person coming in is like, wow, who's this guy? What is he, like some famous rock star that everyone's sitting around watching him talk? Now that's a little bit exaggerated rhetoric, but it really does accomplish almost that. I think that once you try this the first couple times, you'll probably be stifled because you'll feel that pressure and you'll try, like, oh, how's the steak here? It'll come off very awkward. But once you do it and you get used to it and you realize that social pressure actually shouldn't be a time to be shy and feel stressed, but you should use it as a time to really show your true colors and confidence and really achieve the kind of communication and to give off the kind of impression that you're looking for. I'll be really anxious to hear you guys' comments and notes on this because I know most people not only don't apply it, but they take the opposite stance, whereas when they get social pressure put on them, not only do they not use it to their advantage, but they actually use it as a huge disadvantage, and it puts them in a very bad light and a very bad perspective from everyone who saw them come in and the way that they handled that stress of having people's attention on them.